What's up, YouTube? So I want to talk about something that irritates me quite a lot that you can hear quite often in Psytrance, and it's, I guess, not really a big deal, but it's one of those things that whenever I hear it, it kind of grinds my gears. It's almost like nails on a chalkboard. I guess just because it's kind of so overused, it becomes one of those kind of crutches that a lot of people just kind of throw in there when they're too lazy to make a proper drop or something like that. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the reversed kick drum. I know, sacrilege. Let's dive in and have a look. So I'm not taking shots at anyone in particular. I just find it really funny that Psytrance has these particular kind of tropes that you're allowed to use and that you're not allowed to use. And if you use one overused trope, you're seen as commercial. But if you use another overused trope, you're not. And I find it like hilarious that people think, for just one example is like, if you use triplets, you're suddenly seen as not creative or not very inspired because it's been done before. And then the same people that are criticizing the triplets go and put in a reversed kick drum and call it a day. Just a small little thing. Like I said, I'm not taking shots at anybody. I just think it's really funny. The reason I don't like it is not because of that. That's just a kind of minor factor on top. The reason that it really grinds my gears is the fact that it feels like a lot of your energy from the drop gets sucked out by reversing a kick drum. So listen to this. Is it not just me, or does it sound much better even just without the reverse kick drum? Although that being said, is sometimes you do need something to kind of draw that energy into the first drop. I just want to show you a quick example of what happens when we overcompress this. You can kind of really hear that manipulation of energy really kind of going to waste. Can you hear that? It's almost like the transient of the very first kick is like struggling to peek through because there's already so much energy coming through from the body of the reverse kick drum. So there's various ways to avoid this or to kind of create variations of this, which I personally think are so much better. Yes, maybe they take a couple of steps extra. But that being said, I think that the reverse kick is a very lazy approach to creating drops. So just taking a few extra steps is going to inevitably make your drops sound more inspired and more creative because you've put more time into it. First and foremost, I mean, the easiest and the thing that I actually like to use the most because it's has a different tone is a reversed bass note. So check this out. What I like to do is create a duplicate of the sound that we have already. And then what I'll do is just remove all of the MIDI that I've got there. And I want to create a long, sustained bass note that's going to take up this whole beat over here. What we can do is we can actually turn off the LFO tool or any type of sidechain that we've got on at the moment because we're going to draw in our own custom curve once we've recorded it out and reversed it and all sorts of things. So let's actually just go ahead and mute this reverse kick because we're no longer going to need that. And then let's open up the Vital Patch. So the main things we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to create a bit of sustain on the sound. So you'll notice how it's almost instantaneous how the note kind of just goes doomp, and it's because we've set the trigger, or we've set these envelopes to a 1/16. So if we set it to 1/4, then it should give us that full kind of 1/6 length to create our own kind of envelope. So the trick is to create something that's snappy, but that still has a bit of that kind of sustain. You see the filter doesn't close all the way. So you can kind of hear that there is that kind of downward motion. And this is what's going to create our ramp, or the kind of manipulation of energy upwards towards the drop. So here what we can do is we can actually just go ahead and reverse this sample that we've rendered out from the Vital Patch. And we've recreated a kind of variation of the reverse kick. But I personally think this sounds so much better because there isn't that really high energy in this kind of frequency sweep. Because there isn't that really high energy and we don't really have the transient, here we can actually go ahead and just shift this so that it's exactly sweeps back exactly onto the beat. There is a bit of time difference there because I delayed the track and I didn't think of that. But anyway, we can always just fix that after the fact. It's not a train smash. Anyway, let's compare which one sounds better. You guys can let me know. This is obviously personal preference, This has nothing to do with kind of like facts or anything like that. But again, you know, let me know which one do you think sounds the best. And then afterwards, I want to show you how to do a variation of the actual kick itself to sound a little bit better. So, like I said, I personally prefer the reversed bass note because I feel like it already has that separation because of how we've designed the sounds in the track. It kind of has that separation from this first kick, so that that first kick always hits hard. Whereas when you use a reversed kick, I feel like that first kick of the bar afterwards always sounds a little bit sloppy. A variation that we can do, we can avoid this high energy pitch sweep by literally just cutting it out of the sample. So what we can do is we can switch to zero crossing mode, and what this does is it allows us to sweep the sample end point and chop it only at the points which it crosses zero. So what that does is it allows you to remain incredibly kind of clean with your cuts, and what we can do then is go fade out, adjust this so that it ends just before the line, like this. Perfect. So essentially what we're doing is we're removing the transient from the kick drum so that we just have a low sweep, and that the only transient that peaks through is the transient from the original kick drum. So I also find when doing this kind of thing, I do like to reduce the volume and create my own kind of custom envelope. So let's just go to grid again, snap to grid, and then we can actually create an envelope like this. So this allows us to actually get different types of sweeps by drawing in these kind of more drastic envelopes like this. So this allows you to really carve the exact amount of manipulation of energy before that drop. I find these so much more powerful than just rendering the kick and reversing it. Again, I feel like it's a lazy approach that can often be very audible and can damage the end result of your track. Yeah, let's just listen to a quick couple of examples of this. I guess I should probably make an original, the one that has the transient, and then we can compare all three. So here we can actually get a little bit more drastic and carve off even more. Let's just say snap to zero crossing. Let's try get it at just the subtones. So we're just hearing that low like whoop. Awesome, that's about it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that like button. See you guys next time. Cheers.